Hi Aries, welcome to Milk and Honey Tarot Therapy. If you're new to my channel, I'm glad you're here. I am doing your Aries September reading for Sun, Moon, and Rising. Watch your other videos, and if you haven't already, sometimes one will resonate more than the other. And if you've been with me since 2017, thank you for watching, liking. Um, and for you new people, please subscribe and helps the algorithm. I do one-on-one intuitive therapy, executive coaching, and um, kind of getting back into doing a lot more videos. Um, and it does help the algorithm as people are viewing and comment and engage with the channel. So let's get on to the September reading. We've had lots of energies happening in August and the end of August with the eclipses, the north and south node changing signs. So we're getting lots of things that are supporting big changes, really, for everybody, all the signs. So let's see how it's affecting you. First, we have the Hermit card. So some of you might feel like you're alone or spending a lot of time alone. This is a card about choosing solitude, um, seeking guidance, inspiration, prayer, meditation, looking for clarity and answers. This monk is carrying a lantern with a light. So it's like looking for the light in a situation. Maybe some of you are trying to make a decision, or you're trying to get clarity around an event that's happened recently, and you're choosing this. Although it, for some of you, I get that it may have gone on for a while. Um, this this card coming out. Where's that card? Yeah. Okay. Orphaned. For some of you, this energy, maybe you've been too much alone, and you feel abandoned. You feel like you've been left on your own. You're trying to get clarity around something. Um, and maybe it's, has to do with this situation, this card, chaos and conflict. Maybe you've been through a lot of chaos, a, a relationship that ended, a change of a loss of a job, or a change in a job situation or a living situation. And it's just brought up a lot of emotion, that feeling of being orphaned, of being left on your own. Some of you are feeling isolated, maybe. Um, yeah, because this next card, this is you, the Queen of Wands, fire, your fire sign. So, but I do get, if you really tune in to the messages and the purpose of this time alone or seeking guidance, um, prayer, all of that, you're going to come out on top, so to speak. This queen energy of a leader, being in charge of your life again. If you felt like you haven't been, for some of you, you might be needing to make a decision. Maybe it's a decision about a relationship. We have the Lover's card. So maybe you were feeling isolated or alone in a relationship, like you weren't getting the attention or being the priority that you wanted to be. Um, and this is a great card for soulmate energy, love, compatibility, a great connection. Could be a twin flame type of connection. But this card originally was named choice. It's more that you've got to make a decision. There's choices around something. For many of you, I'm getting, it could be a choice about how to proceed in a relationship. And this is a great card for harmony, compatibility. And it could be related to this chaos and conflict, that maybe there was a lot of that, and it was just stirring up the need for some solitude and some seeking, going inward, seeking guidance. And there may have been some sort of distant, a fork in the road, that this indicates a decision, a choice you've had to make. Maybe you're making a decision about career paths, um, something that's important. You're being asked to make a decision about, and it could be a conflict in a relationship. It could be something that's Yeah, this is coming out for you. There's forgiveness. So I get from some of you, there's just been a rift of some kind. Maybe it's a relationship that ended, but you're trying to decide if you want to renew the relationship or get back involved. Um, what needs to happen, going forward? Well, we've got this card coming out, transmute. There's something that needs to be transmuted. When you talk about transmutation, and I talk about being a transformational therapist, you're transforming something from the lower energies to higher energies, from dark to light, from negative to positive. So there's something that has to transmute. There's something that needs, maybe the forgiveness card is somebody owes you an apology. Somebody needs to come and do their part in restoring this peaceful resolution that's coming out. There's something that needs to happen for others of you. It might be that you need to make a decision and be assertive in communicating. And, these cards are all kind of starting to tell a story. Spiritual cleansing. There's just a cleansing. I get that something's happened recently, work, however this relates to you, in a general reading. Some of you, this might be career, work, living situations, or it could be romantic, but there's a cleansing that needs to happen. And with this hermit card, you know getting clarity, getting kind of processing your own, doing your own inner work, or releasing emotions, and here we have clear the air, distant thunder. So you need to clear the air with somebody or something, um, because there's been a fork in the road. There's been chaos. There's been conflict, and it's left you feeling alone, isolated. And it's time to make a decision if you want this to work. And this is coming out for some of you. This is your life purpose. Now, this could mean a couple of things. This relationship or this path, this restoring something maybe in a work situation or in your career, that could be part of your life purpose, but so could whatever lessons you're learning as a result of what's happened. Um, Very often when chaos and conflict happens, or loss or trauma or things we don't understand, feeling left on our own, very often, God is trying to help us learn some lessons, continue to grow and evolve. And, that's where that spiritual cleansing is coming in. Um, and here, this card, here you go, rejuvenating rain, clear the past, heal the present. So, Aries, the message coming through in this reading is there's something about the past that needs to clear and cleanse. And you may have to be the one to take a step with this assertive card. There is a peaceful resolution. There is a solution, a peaceful resolution. And it definitely could be the lover's card. It could be that there's been an impasse in a relationship, and that's okay because you're transmuting lower energies. You're, trying to get clarity. For some of you, it might be about a commitment, making a commitment. Maybe somebody wanted you to make a commitment and you weren't sure if you were ready. But this card is saying, yes, make a commitment. Maybe it's making a commitment to a job or a business or a career path, or learning something new that you've been trying to, decide if that's the right path. But once you turn this corner, once all this inner work, so to speak, and that's a lot of what I do with my one on one. I love working with people one on one to help them just get that clarity, bring things to light. I was trained formally as a therapist, but kind of morphed my type of modality into using metaphysical tools, spiritual teaching. Let's bring things to light. Let's see what the lessons are, where things need to change. But as you do that, you're going to get this great, thing, which is Eight of Wands, communication. Once you do some of that inner work, things are going to move forward. This is a very fast moving card. You might restore something by getting this can mean traveling by air, a fast moving energy. Wands rule communication, projects. You could all of a sudden start getting emails and texts from somebody that you just, there was this blockage. And I'm getting, how do you turn this, how do you transmute? That's often the question. If the cards are saying, hey, something needs to be transmuted, something that was chaotic, left you feeling alone, left you needing to go into this hermit mode, what do you need to do? That's very often it is, what are the lessons? What do I need to change? Where do I need to accept responsibility? And then this card's coming out, which is gratitude. Anytime I've been at the most stuck places, whether it was in a financial area and obstacles of some kind, if I could get out of fear, get out of the negative lower frequencies and get into gratitude, even if things were legitimately really bad and it might have been somebody else's fault or things beyond my control, but if I could shift into gratitude. So I get that that's a real key for you in finding the peaceful resolution moving forward, whether it's the Lover's card, a decision you need to make, a restoring of a relationship. The assertive part is you need to do your own soul searching, if you will, or your inventory of your emotions, your part, your responsibility, what you can control. um, Kind of that serenity prayer, which is just such an amazing prayer. Grant me the ability to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So the things you can change are what you want to take ownership of. And then this card, through that process, gates of triumph, brand new beginnings, success will begin to expand. The things you're hoping for, the light shining in sort of this dark place, and this inviting new path that will just feel like it's okay to step out in this new direction. And, but it does come through doing that inventory, that personal inventory, spiritual cleansing coming out, clearing the past, rejuvenating rain. And maybe you just need to do a salt bath for yourself and a sage and, things that clear your energy so you can get greater clarity, greater guidance, and know what the next step should be for you. So that's, coming out really strong for you, Aries. I hope that resonates. And if, you want more information, watch your sun, moon, and rising signs. If you want a one-on-one session for cards or for some of the healing work, energy work, therapeutic work that I do that helps really get unstuck, my information's below and how to reach me. I love working with clients one on one and have had the great privilege of doing so through this channel that started in 2017 with clients all over the world. And it's a very, it is part of my life purpose and my passion. So I love doing that. And if you're new, again, please like, share, and subscribe, help the algorithm, the channel, and hopefully you'll be back. And I'll see you next time.